Here's check on stories we're following for you today on Robin Hood Radio. Our forecast for the weekend from meteorologist Pat Pagano. A partly cloudy, breezy day today around 40. Tonight, partly cloudy, low around 30. On Saturday, some sun, 40 to 45. On Sunday, mostly cloudy, possible late showers, 40 to 45. And on Monday, showers, and then clearing up and some sun, temperature around 40. We'll check the details on our tri-state forecast in just a few minutes. Well, in Connecticut, Governor Lamont said it needs to update its assault weapons to ban and close loopholes and prohibit more firearms, as dealers, manufacturers, and others have found ways to skirt Connecticut's laws. The governor said yesterday in announcing a second set of proposed gun laws. The Democratic governor also said he wants to raise the age of being able to legally buy a long gun from 18 to 21, which is the age requirement for buying handguns, and he's proposing to increase the first offense penalties for illegally possessing a large capacity ammunition magazine from a misdemeanor to carrying a $90 fine to a felony carrying up to 5 years in prison and up to $5,000 worth of fines. Lamont, who also announced gun legislation on Monday that included a ban on open carrying, said his latest proposals are aimed at preventing mass shootings in the state that already has some of the toughest gun laws in the country, many of them passed the months after the 2012 massacre at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown that killed 20 children and 6 educators. Well, the committee has voted to propose bill tracking high energy prices in the state of Connecticut. State lawmakers will explore how big jumps in electricity rates like the ones that took effect January 1st might be avoided or mitigated in the future. Eversource Energy increased its standard service rate 12.05 cents per kilowatt hour to almost 24.2 cents, and United Illuminating raised its rate from 10.62 cents per kilowatt hour to almost 22.5 cents. Eversource and UI customers are already paying among the highest electric rates in the country. The legislature's Energy and Technology Committee voted to draft legislation on the procurement of standard service rates. It was one of several preliminary votes to propose bills aimed at tackling high energy costs in the state. And speaking about energy and Eversource Energy is continuing its internal investigation into the slow response time of one of its crews to an accident seen on Route 44 last week. That, according to the company spokesman. The incident on a car driven by 67-year-old George Green swerved off the road, struck a utility pole, snapping it off. The car overturned and a live wire was draped over it. First responders were unable to conduct rescue measures until an Eversource team turned off the power and removed the wire. That took 68 minutes for the crew to reach the scene, during which, said the 81-year-old wife of Green, were trapped in the car. Firefighters were incensed and wrote a letter to the company complaining. This is an interesting story in New York State. Most incarcerated New Yorkers now come from upstate New York. People in New York prisons increasingly come from upstate, part of a decades-long reversal of incarcerated New Yorkers coming through the 5 boroughs of New York City. That, according to findings in a 2022 analysis of census data by Prison Policy Initiative, a nonprofit studying prison trends on the national scale. In Great Barrington, they are looking at tax breaks for those who will rent to affordable rates. If town voters agree on it, residents could get a break on their real estate taxes if they choose to offer year-round affordable rentals at a portion of the property. While it isn't clear how an affordable housing rental exemption might work in Great Barrington, Provincetown has been doing it since 2004, providing an example of how to calculate exemptions based on how much square footage of a home or apartment is being rented. The Select Board's Housing Subcommittee Chair, Lee Davis, is proposing the idea for further study and possibly a vote at the annual town meeting in May. She says gray areas remain. Those include the possibility of tax breaks for people who offer long-term affordable rentals in whole homes when they are not living there. The subcommittee plans to present the proposal to the Select Board on February the 13th. As we said yesterday, the Lakeville Journal and Millerton News in a few weeks will have a new publisher. Susan Hassler has been named to that position. She succeeds Janet Manco, who for more than 25 years has been a mainstay at the newspapers as editor-in-chief and publisher. And in Sharon, Jennifer Dillon, a member of the Sharon Land Trust Board for 3 years, was elected president. Dillon has firsthand experience in observing rapid development of small towns brought on by increased demand for large tracts of land. And Noble Horizons Senior Living Community has announced the addition of its rehabilitation team of full-time speech therapist Andrea Gamble. She's well known throughout the area where she has worked for the past 18 years in skilled nursing, outpatient, and home care. Gamble will be serving clients from the community through Noble's outpatient rehab center, in addition to supporting Noble Horizons inpatient and short-term rehab residents. Well, in 3 or 4 days, it's your final day to put in a proposal for a grant from the Canaan Foundation. They're accepting grant proposals from not-for-profit organizations for community programs and projects that benefit residents of the town of North Canaan. The application deadline is January 31st, 2023. You can submit application forms at the Foundation's website, which is CanaanFoundation.org. Alternatively, the email complete request to mparati at wmparati.com or mail to the Canaan Foundation, P.O. Box 823, North Canaan 06018. Since its creation in 2000, the Canaan Foundation has awarded over $485,000 in grants. Just one meeting for today locally, and that is in Falls Village. There is a public hearing on the Frontier proposal. That is happening today at 7 p.m. with the Board of Finance. Also today from 7 to 8 p.m. at the Sharon Audubon Center, Owls Among Us is being presented at the Sharon Audubon Center. It is a $10 per participant fee, suitable for ages 13 plus. Registration is available at sharon.audubon.org or call 860-364-0520, extension 115. Lee H. Kellogg students are having an open house exhibit display on Birds of the World exhibit that will happen tomorrow from 11 until noon. And of course, coming up on February 3rd, 4th, and 5th, Schwartz's Jump Fest. Of course, the opening night on February 3rd includes target jumping and also the human dog sled race. On Saturday, jumping continues all day long, and also the snowball returns. This time the snowball will be held at Lakeville Lake. And then on Sunday, the ski jumping will conclude with the Eastern Championships. More information at jumpfest.org. Our business brief is underwritten by Morgan's at the Interlaken, featuring a regular menu, a tapas menu, and dinner specials nightly, interlakenin.com. You'll also find them on Facebook and Instagram, and by Salisbury Bank, salisburybank.com. Dow Jones Industrial Average will start the day off today at 34,019.41, the S&P 500 at 4,074.93, and the NASDAQ at 12,107.47. We'll take a look at the tri-state forecast. That'll come your way in just a few moments.